All right, everyone, welcome back into another Prize Picks video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets here for this Taco Tuesday. Let's go and get into it. But first, just a quick recap from last night's slate. So the Prize Picks bet of the day goes 4 for 5, and unlike kind of the previous slates where we hit a lot of flex slips that were a little bit tilting, just given the situation of the game, this one was much more tolerable, just given the fact that Tyler Conklin was just clearly the wrong pick. But besides that, 4 for 5, all the other ones pretty much cash easily. And what I called out directly is that with this specific slip is that you didn't want to run out this specific slip, because if you did, the payout was like cut in half. It was crazy. So hopefully you guys were able to use these picks to have a very good day yesterday, and hopefully we can have a good day today. And like literally, let's hope it's a good day today, because today we are not getting that many good prop bets. We have literally like 4, maybe 5 that are good, and we can see it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And this first one here is certainly interesting with Lainey Hamilton, where her under points at 9 is being kind of favored. We look at the average sportsbook line, about 8.9, and it is kind of favoring the under there, about 53.7%. So this is a good prop bet. At the same time, this is a line that could change throughout the day, and that would not be shocking. We look at what she's been able to do thus far in the playoffs, and really not all that good except for one game, last game against the Minnesota Lynx. So not exactly sure what to do with this one. I think I'm just going to bet the under, but also it wouldn't be surprising for this one to just end up being a push. So all in all, not a terrible bet. And then we have some MLB prop bets, but I want to call it another WNBA prop bet that we have. And then that's going to be Sabrina to get under her fantasy score. We look at this one. This is going to be one of the better bets that we have on the board today in general. Obviously in the playoffs, in basketball, people are going to see more minutes, and so project to get 38 minutes in this game, obviously like that. Looking at the prize picks line, 35.5. Looking at the average sportsbook line, only at 33.75, and favoring the under there. So this is one of those ones where, like on paper, it's going to be a very solid bet. But also, given the extra minutes that she's likely to get, it could lead to her getting this over. But at the same time, I think we're fine with betting the under. Kind of been, I mean, we see the last 5 average two times in the over in the last 5 games in the playoffs here. And so again, kind of okay with hitting this bet, or placing this bet, I should say. And then we go ahead and get into the into the MLB today. And what we're going to notice is that we have a few good MLB prop bets. Garrett Cole for over his pitching fantasy score. This is seemingly going to be one of the better ones. The average sportsbook line would have it set at 33.82. The projection data would have it set at 35.72. I will say the projection data has somewhat seemed to be, I think, overvaluing innings pitched for pitchers in terms of playoffs, but at the same time, that's tough to predict kind of the situations that a coach might see. At the same time, we have seen him be, pretty productive thus far this postseason. He's projected to get us 5 innings, and so like we need the 5 innings really. Obviously, pitching strikeouts account for a lot of points with the fantasy score. Innings pitch, that's 15 points right there if he gets 5. But what's more crucial is the win. Like we need a win as well. And obviously, if you only pitch 4 innings, you're not going to get a win. I don't think we're counting on a quality start here. And so that's kind of the issue with postseason baseball, especially with these pitching fantasy score prop bets, is that the likelihood for them to get a win and a quality start has been greatly reduced, whereas during the regular season, the pitching fantasy score props were some of the better ones in terms of predictability. But at the same time, that's kind of why we're getting the edge that we are getting, I would say, as well. They are 1.5 point favorites in this game, run favorites in this game, and it's a low scoring game at 7 total runs as well. So that all bodes very well for Garrett Cole. So I like that. Another one that we could potentially run out, Francisco Lindor for over his hitting fantasy score. Now, this was the best prop bet on the board yesterday, I believe. It was one or the other. It was either the second best or first best. And really my biggest concern is that he's coming in off of a very, very good game, as well as all of the New York Mets. And so you would kind of expect a little bit of regression there, just typically speaking. But at the same time, maybe the bats stay hot. That would be great. And so I'm kind of fine with doing Lindor for over his team fantasy score, which then would mean this prop bet that's popping up would be one where we probably wouldn't want to run out the over pitching fantasy score here. And so this is kind of a good call of what I meant of how the pitching fantasy scores have gone, and kind of with the projection data typically being a little bit higher right now. If these pitchers get pulled early or maybe give up some runs early, their leash is a lot shorter. And so the likelihood for Walker to pitch deep into the game, I would say, is greatly reduced. These two don't correlate, so you could put them in the same slip. Obviously, for Taco Tuesday, we're just trying to find the 5 best bets that we can use to pair with the tacos. And we did that last week, guys. Ended up going, I believe, 4 for 5 as well. Part of the annoyance, I believe that was the Tucker Kraft slip, where he was the last bet on the slip and he didn't get there in a perfect scenario for him to get his over fantasy score. That was tilting. But we can see we got several decent bets. I wouldn't say there's any like lock and load bets by any means for me on paper. In terms of NFL bets right now, I personally do not see really any that I like right now, that I feel like are just, we need to go out of our way to target them. Like Devon Valet will probably get this over receiving yards if he plays a lot. We saw him play a lot last week and we saw him play a lot in week 1. Don't really get what's going on with the playing time for him, but like I'd be fine betting that over. This is one of the popular bets on the PrizePicks board right now. And if you guys have followed my content, I kind of hate going in on these popular bets because a lot of the times people are just placing these bets just based off their last 5. And that seems to be the case here. But I do agree with it. Like this matchup against the Green Bay Packers should be a fruitful matchup. Packers defense has been better against the run lately, but this is a bet where in a pinch, let's say some of those other bets get bumped, I'd be fine using this one. And then one other bet that's kind of standing out to me right now is actually going to be Ben Sims to get over 0.5 receptions. It's kind of a weird one. But with Luke Musgrave out, we're going to see Ben Sims kind of get that backup tight end work. And the backup tight end has been able to get 1 catch on average in every single game thus far this season. That's mostly due to a few design plays that go to the backup tight ends where they just kind of leak out the back and it's just an easy catch. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again, playing about 30% of the snaps or so. Lots of 2 tight end sets as well. So I could see this being a bet that hits, but I don't love betting on backup tight ends that are only going to play like 15 snaps in total, you know? And so with that, guys, I want to take a peek at the discrepancies tab to see if we're getting any like good middles that we could potentially run out. And we really are not. I mean, it's an extremely tight board. You know, that's why they have Taco Tuesday on Tuesday, because there's typically not that much going on, especially when NBA's not going. And I know it's kind of going, but not really. I mean, we have a little bit of a middle here with Maps headshots where we could bet the over 13 map 1 and 2 headshots. I mean, that's really it. And just as an FYI for anyone that's a 9to5 member, this sheet will probably be switching over to the PrizePicks and Underdog sheet, or I might be creating a separate middles table or, you know, data sheet for people to view. Pretty soon, this old view that, you know, I don't think that many people are using right now. They're using the more laid out version right now. Pretty soon, I'm just going to go away from that old version. And that's kind of the last step in that, just as an FYI. Also, just as an FYI, we'll be adding in NHL as a specific sports tab. All the prop bets for NHL are in the cheat sheet, though, just as an FYI. It's just with PrizePicks and the way they're giving us prop bets right now for NHL, everything's basically a goblin or a demon prop bet. So a little bit annoying there. All right, so looking at the PrizePicks bet of the day, again, just going with those 2 WNBA prop bets that we have, less than points for Lainey Hamilton here. Accidentally fat fingered the more right before this. Then we're going with Sabrina for less than her fantasy score. Again, really the only hindrance to this is just the amount of minutes that she could get in this game where it does force the over there. But for the most part, seemingly a good bet. And then we got Garrett Cole for over his pitching fantasy score. Probably the best one on the board in terms of the ones I like the most. Then we got Lindor for over his hitting fantasy score. If you disagree, if you think maybe the New York Mets are going to have a regression game, then you would want to do Walker for over his pitching fantasy score. That was one of the better ones that we saw on the board. Then I do like Joe Mixon to get over 60.5 rush yards. I felt like he looked good last week. Got like 67% of the snaps in the first half, and then they didn't really need him. So his overall snap share was not that high, but I'm expecting him to get a little bit more work to be 1 more week healthy. Now, I do want to remind you guys of the promo code that's currently going on the 9to5 website. Use the promo code KeepCashing to get 20% off your first 9to5 membership. So the 9to5 membership is $10 a month. When you use the promo code KeepCashing, you get that first month for just $8. Again, I priced it that way for you guys. As you guys can see, I'm always updating tools for you guys to keep it the best value as possible. And it's just going to be one of those things that's going to help you be able to make educated bets, which in the long term will pay off. All right, that's going to be all for this video, guys. Appreciate you being here. Good luck with your Taco Tuesday slip. We'll be coming out with a first look slip here for week 7 as well, basically a few hours after this. And one call out as well, if you guys are looking for my NFL DFS content, I have switched the 9to5 Golf YouTube channel into the 9to5 DFS channel. So there's a separate channel for that. So if you guys are looking for DFS content, that's where you'll find it. All right, guys, that's going to be all for today's video. Appreciate you guys being here. Again, if you guys want access to any of the tools available on 9to5sports.com, head on over there, get access to it for $10 a month. But when you use the promo code KeepCashing, get it for $8. All right, guys, that's going to be all for today's video. Give a like, give a subscribe. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.